everybody, what's up? It's Scott the Frozen Gamer back at you again with more of my top 100 games of all time. Woo! So we are on number 90 through 81 today, and it's going to be a wide array of games again. Just like last time, there's going to be party games, light games, these heavy political games in this 10. So let's start off right away. Let's not take any more time. So number 90 is a brand new game to my list because it's a brand new game, and this is Cross Bronx Expressway by Non-Breaking Space. That's the alias he goes by for his board design name that he uses, and it is by GMT Games. And this one, I'm just gonna read the back of it because it explains it pretty well what it's about. It says, during his 1980 presidential campaign, California Governor Ronald Reagan took a tour of the South Bronx. As he walked the same streets that President Jimmy Carter had walked 3 years prior, what Reagan witnessed was a scene so devastating and caused him to remark that he had not, quote, seen anything that looked like this since London after the Blitz. Cross Bronx Expressway is a game about the social and economic processes that created the scene in the South Bronx and the impacts they had on the local population during the second half of the 20th century. So the first thing that made me excited about this game was I lived in New York for 10 years and up in the northern part of Manhattan, but close enough to walk to the Bronx. I used to walk to Yankee Stadium to see games there. So I heard about this game, and basically the creation of this expressway caused some turmoil within the economics and socio-status of the Bronx. And it really affected the people that lived there. And so this game takes place from the 1940s through the 90s, but you're only gonna, 90s or 2000, I forgot what it goes up to, but you're only gonna take 2 consecutive decades to play in the game. So you're not gonna play you can play the full thing, but that would be ridiculously long. It's a 3-player game. So one person's gonna play the political sector, or not the public sector. One person's gonna play the private sector, and one player is gonna play the community, which is a mix of like community organizations, just the people that live there, gangs. In the game, you're gonna be trying to build infrastructure in the Bronx and trying to, as a collective, have it thrive. But it isn't a cooperative game. Everyone is trying to have the Bronx survive because we can all lose if the Bronx falls apart, goes bankrupt, just completely falls apart like it did when Reagan was president, or when Carter and Reagan were president. But we wanted to survive, but we wanted to be our factions that made it survive the best. If I'm the community, I wanted known that the community was really the heart of the prosper of the Bronx. This is in the GMT's Irregular Conflict series, which is kind of the spin-off of their coin games, their popular coin games like Cuba Libre. The heart of the game is based off these cards, these events that take place throughout the game, and one thing that makes this one different than other games in these line of games is that the event is always going to go off in Cross Bronx Expressway. So it's just a matter of who controls the event. It's a really cool game. It could go up on my list. It could go down on my list just depending on more plays. I've only played through it solo at this point, so I really need to get it on at the table with other people and see how that changes things. I think it will go up once I get it to the table with others. But I'm excited to explore the game more. That is number 90 in my games. Overall, let's see the stats. It's got a 7.7 rating out of 148 ratings total. New game from GMT, and it just came out last year, 2025, and it's ranked 8,085 currently, 90th in my ratings. That is Cross Bronx. Let's do that here, this way. Cross Bronx Expressway. Okay, next up, number 89 for me is a little game and also not that well known. It was a little tiny Kickstarter, and it's a very little game, and it's called Bat Flip Dynasty. This is by Scorelander Games, designed by the owner Scott Corlander. So this is a little game. You don't need to know anything about baseball to be able to play it, because what you're doing in it is you are going to first take a team and a manager. The manager is going to give you a special power, the team's going to give you a special power, but also the team decides how much of a budget you have to spend on players. Then what you do is you'll have hands of cards and you'll pass them, you'll draft one and pass. You'll do that type of draft where you take one and pass it to the next player. And when you draft a player, they're going to be worth 1 million, $10 million, however many dollars to have them on your team, and you have to pay them right then. So you'll have like 5 players on your team, I believe, at the end of a round. Then each player has a red die and a blue die. And so first you'll take one of the colors of dice, and you'll collect however many dice it shows on your player's card. So if I have a total of 6 dice on all blue dice on all my players' cards, I'm gonna take 6 blue dice, and then I'm gonna roll them. They'll all have custom symbols on them, like a baseball bat or home plate, and those all stand for different things, or a muscle. And so you're gonna try to match, and every card has those symbols on the bottom. So you're gonna try to match the dice to the card. And you'll get X amount of runs if you match them perfectly, all the dice perfectly on each card. And then if you don't match them perfectly, but you fill up the card, you'll get a lower amount of points for that. Then as a whole, after we do all of that, everyone's done that and sorted out their dice and put them on players' cards. Very few will be filled out at this point. Then we look at all of our baseball players on our team's red dice. We then go and combine, every player playing will combine their red dice into one giant dice pool, and we roll those, and then we draft those dice one at a time to fill out the rest of our cards. If you get a certain amount of points, I think it's like 14 or something, I forgot exactly what it is, but if you get that amount, you'll get a trophy, and you want trophies, that's how you win the game. And then if you have the most, you'll get a second trophy, if you got the most points that round. Then there's the playoffs. So what we do is every die that's on our card, we get to roll, and we get to do it like a Yahtzee style where you get to roll up to 3 times and you're trying to get sets of each symbol. And you'll get more wins for each set of symbols that you have, or the bigger sets of symbols that you have, I mean. Where like if you get like a pair, you're gonna get like 1 win. Where you get 5 of a kind, you're gonna get like 7 wins or something. You'll add up all your wins that you have in the playoffs or points or whatever you wanna call it, and whoever has the most will get an additional trophy. It's the first to 7 trophies will win the game. And it's just a super light dice chucking game. It's fun with the draft. I love the theme of baseball. I love baseball. So I love the theme of the baseball part of it. Again, you're not playing a baseball game. You don't need to know any rules about baseball to play the game. So that is Bat Flip Dynasty. A little tiny game, really fun, really quick, just kind of a blast to play. That's a little hidden gem for me. So this is new to my list, again, because it was a new game that just came out in 2025. It has an 8.0 rating. It only has 59 ratings. And then it's ranked 12,508th. It's 89 for me. If that sounded interesting at all to you, check out this game, Bat Flip Dynasty. It's great. Okay, we're gonna stick with hidden gems here because number 88 for me is Salty. It's this little Asian trick-taking game, I believe from Japan. And my phone just went off. And so this game is by Leo, who is most known probably in the States for Vivo, that became popular here just this past year. And it's published by Vic Village Games. And so this is a trick-taking game, and it's kind of a weird one. So the first thing everyone's gonna do is you're going to draw out a number, X amount of cubes, and you're gonna place them on this 4 different types of seasoning in the game, which represents suits. So there is mayo, there's ketchup, there's salt, and there's this vinegar series looking villager sauce, like soy looking sauce type of thing. And you'll put the cubes out here. Salt is special, so that's gonna go up on this top section, the cubes there. Next, everyone's going to draft a meal. And this is how many bids you think you're gonna win throughout that round of the game. So here, the omelet and rice is, you think you're gonna win 3. This nuggets are gonna win 5 tricks, and you can always bid on 0 if you don't like what you do. So you draft these cards, these meal cards, because you wanna hit your bid perfectly, or under. You do not wanna go over in this game. Then you're gonna get dealt your hand of cards, and you can see there's weird cards like 5.5 on them. You're gonna get dealt your hand of cards, and it's a must-follow trick-taking game. So if I play ketchup, then everyone after me has to play ketchup if they have ketchup in their hand. If they don't have ketchup in their hand, you can play an offsuit. Now here's where it's a little different. The lead suit doesn't automatically win. It's whatever suit has the most cards on the table. If it's a tie, you're going to go and look at how many salt cubes. You're gonna look at the salinity. So if there's 3 salt cubes on this little platter, then we want to have played a number closest to 3. So 3 would win the suit. If let's say ketchup had the most, So it's between me and like 2 other players that played catch-up. Whoever played closest to the 3, because there's 3 salt, would win that hand. Salt's eventually going to go down, so you'll eventually, different numbers are going to be more, have more power to them as the round plays on. If it's still tied at that point, then you go into the acidity of, or like, I think it's like the acidity of the spices. So salt is the best always. If it's tied, if like it was 3 salt here when we checked salinity and I had a 2.5 and another player had a 3.5, whoever played salt would win. Then the villager sauce, then ketchup, and then mayo's the weakest suit in the 3rd tiebreaker to see who wins the hand. If you win the hand, you take a cube, if there is one available, from whatever card you played. You take the same spice, the cube off that spice tray, and put it on your bid here. If there's no cubes, let's say I won with ketchup, but there's no cubes here, and I need to fill my 3rd ketchup spot with a cube, too bad, I didn't get it. So then you play out until we're out of cards in our hands, and then we go to scoring. And scoring, you're gonna get like 10 points per cube, but then if you match it perfectly, you get a bonus. That's for your meal, and every meal has a slightly different bonus to it. And if you go over, you're going to lose points for going over per cube that you went over, and that's the game. You play as many rounds as there are people. It's really cool. It has a really cool dynamic where different suits are going to become more powerful throughout the round, or throughout the tricks that happen per round, and then different numbers are going to become more powerful throughout the tricks too because of the salt cubes, how many salt cubes are left on the platter. So it's really cool, it's really unique. It sounds complicated, it may sound complicated, it's definitely complicated, more complicated than a basic trick-taking game, but I don't think it's that complicated at all. It's actually rated a 2.33 on BGG. So let's see the stats on BGG. It's got a 7.3 rating, it came out in 2022. It has a total of 70 people that rated the game because it's a little known Asian trick-taking game, and it's currently rated 12,348. It's my number 88, and that is Salty. And Salty was number 76 for me last year. It fell just a little bit. Next up is number 87, and for me, that is The Bell of Treason, and the subtitle is 1938 Munich Crisis in Czechoslovakia, and that subtitle really tells you what the game is about. So this is another GMT game. This one is designed by Peter Mojic, probably a Czech last name. I'm sorry for butchering that. And so what this game is about is Czechoslovakia in 1938 really had a choice to make. They could either fight the Nazis that were going to try to invade them and probably lose because Germany had a much bigger army at the time, or they could, you know, slowly kind of deal with the Nazis and slowly surrender, you know, and surrender to them without fighting. And that would buy them some time though, at least, because that was going to take over time. Otherwise, the Nazis were going to blitz in and probably destroy Czechoslovakia. They went with the surrendering in real life, and it was a lose-lose situation for them, a really tough time, obviously. And this game, it's a 2-player game or a solo game, and what you're doing is one player is going to play the political side of surrendering, and one player is going to play the political side of let's not surrender and let's go out fighting as heroes, I guess, if you want to say that. The gameplay is very much, it's a card-driven game, so you're going to have a hand of cards and you're going to play out a card and you can either play actions or the event on the card, and it's very similar to the way that Twilight Struggle is in that sense. And then there's this area majority part on the game board here, and you're trying to influence the political leaders to take your side in the game. There's more to it than that. It is especially for GMT purposes, this is a very light game. It's rated 2.25 weight, complexity weight on BGG. So really light for GMT purposes. Also, like I kind of compared it to Twilight Struggle. Twilight Struggle can take like 3 hours to play or more. This game will take about an hour or less, maybe even a half hour to play the game if you really know it. It's really, really cool. I have played it solo only at this point, and it was a tight game the whole way. I was always a little bit behind. I can't even remember if I won or lost, but I just remember it being super tight all the way to the end. And it really makes you feel. It makes you feel like what side you're playing. Like, am I doing the right thing? Like, I think I am. Let's go for it. Like, let's influence these politicians to fight for what we believe in is the right thing to do for our country while it is basically under siege by Nazi Germany. Really cool two-player game. It's on the light end of things. And yeah, man, I recommend this if you're at all interested in it. I don't think it's that expensive for a GMT game. I know they can get a little bit pricey. I think this is on the lower end. I did the P500, so I got even a more discounted price on it, but I think you can get it now for a pretty decent price as well, or will be able to in the future once they reprint it. If it is out of print, I'm not sure. So overall, it has an 8.0 rating. Again, not many people rated it because it's a very niche game in GMT. So 99 ratings total right now. I gave it exactly what it is on average, an 8 off my one play, but I always change those. It might go up. I think it would probably go up. It's ranked 9,559 right now. And for me, it is number 87, brand new to the list because it's a new game. Now, number 86 for me is also new to my list. A lot of new games to my list than these 10. And that is a party game called Blob Party. This is designed by Pam Walls and published by WizKids. And if you don't know Pam Walls, she's a great designer. She has an awesome YouTube channel all about designing board games. So check that out if you haven't already. She does a great job with her channel. So what is Blob Party? It's a very light party game, extremely light party game. So you're gonna have a category and a word that's drawn. So your category might be, in the example on the back of the box, is food, and then your word is green. Then everyone is going to put down, well, I didn't even explain the fun part of the game. Everyone starts the game. I'm trying to open it up. Everyone starts the game with their own little blob of like a Play-Doh type thing, and you put your little googly eye on it of your player color. So there's all different player colors. So everyone starts with that. So then we all write down a word, and we want to write a word that everyone else is writing. Why? Because we all have our little individual blobs, but if we match a word, we combine our blobs and our eyeballs into one blob. The goal of the game is after 7 rounds to have everyone have one giant blob with all their eyeballs on it. That's the game. It's a simple word association game and simple rules-wise. And you play over, 7 rounds. Hopefully you get that one giant blob. And it is just super cute. I can play this with my family. My 6-year-old daughter plays with us. And she does a great job with it. You know, it's not too hard of like the categories and words aren't too hard that she can come up with words herself and really help out our team. It's just such a cool game. It's such a cool idea of trying to slowly work together into this one giant blob. Fun, simple. Again, I played it with my mother and father who are in their 70s. I played it with my kids, 8 and 6-year-olds. So easy to do, easy game to play with anyone of any age. And that is Blob Party, new to my list. It has a 7.0 rating on BGG out of 294 ratings and currently ranked 6,951. Great family party game. Check it out. So number 85 for me is a game I don't own, so it's gonna be posted right here. And that is, it's new to my list. It was ranked 191st last year, and it's all the way up to 85 this year, and that is Ito, I-T-O, a dice tower essentials game. And this is also a party game. And this one is one where there's gonna be a category that we get. So famous people you would like to be. And then everyone's gonna get a card with a number on it. So if you have a 100, it goes from 1 to 100. If you have a 100, you want a famous person you would really like to be more than anyone else in the world. And if you got a 1, you'd have a famous person you would never want to be. So you're gonna get that number card, and that's gonna tell you what name you should come up with. So maybe I'll have a 70 and I wanna come up with someone that was pretty great, but maybe not the best person in the world. Fictional or not, maybe someone that has a little bit of a dark side to them, but they were pretty good overall in the history of the world. I can't think of one off the top of my head right now, but I'll say that name and put my card down, my player color card down. And then the next person will go and say a name and put their player color card down, either above mine closer to the 100 or below mine closer to the 1. And then the next player will say their name and put their card where they think they fall in line of all the cards. And then after everyone does it, as a team, we can kind of talk and say, do we want to rearrange any of these or should we keep them as they are? And then we reveal and we try to get it perfect, going from 1 to 100. Hopefully we got them all in order, all of our names in order. If we get it all right, we get a point. And that's the game. What I like about this game is that you can really be creative with it. And as you play rounds, some meta comes into it as well. So maybe it's like my answer for some category was like, I'm gonna, like a great place to hide something, buried under a rock. Well, maybe later in the game, someone, or even in that round, they might go like, well, I want it to be even harder to find. So buried under a rock, that's buried under cement, that's under a rock. So you can kind of play off each other's and you can get really creative with your answers. It can get a little meta as you go through categories. Somehow, even though there are going to be different categories every round, there's a little meta comes into play sometimes. And it's just really funny. The first time I played it, it wasn't the best experience I had. But then the second time, I've only played it twice or 2 days. I might have played it multiple times over those 2 days. But the second time I played it, I had just so much fun with the game. That's why it had this huge 100-point jump on my list right now. It is a really good party game. There's cards that you can use with everyone, and then they have family cards as well that you can just use for family if you want to use it in a family game. And yeah, another party game that's just great fun. Really recommend it. That's Ito. It's my number 85. And overall on BGG, it's got a 7.3 rating out of 3,200 ratings estimated. It came out in 2019. That's the original Asian print of it, but then it came over to America more recently in the last year or two. And it currently is ranked 1,207th on BGG, but for me, it's ranked 85, Ito. So number 84 to me was number 53 last year. It's dropped a little bit. I haven't played it as much this past year, which is why it dropped. And if you've been paying attention, it was right in the slot right here. It is a nice lightweight game, Draftosaurus. So Draftosaurus is designed by Antoine Bauza. I knew that, but then there's more. Corentin Lebrat, Ludovic Maublanc, and Théo Rivière. Bunch of French designers. And it's published by Anne Kama. So Draftosaurus is a game where you're drafting dinosaurs and placing them on your little player board. On your player board, there's all different sections, and each section scores a little bit differently than all the other sections in your little dinosaur park that you're creating. So there's going to be all different types of dinosaurs. They're all different colors, and you're going to have a little cup of them, and you're going to take one out and put it in your board. And once everyone does that, you pass your cup to the next player, and you get a new set of dinosaurs. You're going to take one out, and you're drafting the dinosaurs out of the cups and putting it in your park in one of the sections of your park, hopefully to get you the most points. I like to play this over 2 rounds of doing this because there's 2 sides of the board. So there's one side, and then there's a back side that's like a winter side that plays slightly different than the front side of the board. Or each section has its own unique of scoring that's different than the front side of the board. Let's say that. I also own the marina and aerial expansions to the game. You don't need them. They're not necessary by any means, but they are good. I do enjoy playing with them. I just throw them in because they're simple enough that it doesn't make the game that much more complex. This is a super fast game. You'll play it in 20, 30 minutes, probably at most. It's super lightweight. Again, I've played this with my kids. Anyone can play this game. It is just really good fun. And what I really love about the game is that the scoring really comes down to like a point or two a lot of games. It's really close at the end. You're playing these 2 rounds. There's a lot of points to be given out over the game, and it comes down to just a point or two at most of the times I've played this. It's really tight throughout. There might be someone that drops off the back a little bit, but for the winning the game, it's always really, really close most of the time. So that is what I love about the game. The drafting works really well. The different dinosaurs, it looks nice on the table at the end with all of your different colored dinosaurs and different types of dinosaurs, T-Rexes, Stegosauruses, etc. In the game. So that is Draftosaurus. I'm going to keep it short and sweet because it is a short and sweet little game. On BGG, it's rated a 7.1 out of 16,000 total ratings given. It is ranked 669th overall. It came out in 2019, and it is my number 84, Draftosaurus. So number 83 for me moved up from 89 last year, so about the same. And it's a game that I don't own anymore. I did own it. I sold it off to someone who was asking for it, and I hadn't played it for a while. So I was like, yeah, let's get it to someone that really wants this game because it's such a good game. I had the upgraded bits in it, the little wood discs in it instead of the cardboard. And yeah, I'm regretting that one. That's one of the only games I can really regret giving away. And this is Bullet Heart. If you don't know it, there's also Bullet Star. I own Bullet Heart, so that's the one I'm going with. They're very similar. So Bullet Heart was designed by Joshua Van Lanningham and published by Level 99 Games. Level 99 Games is probably most well known for Millennium Blades. And maybe not, I don't even know. But lots of their games have anime in it, and this one is no exception. What you're gonna do is there's all these different young women in the game. They're all female heroines in the game, and you'll pick one of them, and they have their own special power. And then it's like a Tetris game. You're going to have a bag with all these discs in them. You're going to pull them out, and it's going to tell you, it's going to have a number on it and a color, and it's going to tell you which color column to put it in and how many spots down it has to go. Then on the side of your board is a bunch of, you'll have X amount of action points to use per round. And each on the side of your board is going to be a whole bunch of different actions that you can do. And those actions are different ways you can move those discs around the board mostly. And some people, like sometimes you can move them diagonally. Some people you can skip and move them like up to. Some you just might be able to move down maybe. And they're all different ones for each character is different that way. And you can play this there's different ways to play it. I like playing it solo, where I play against a boss, which every girl you can flip over and they have their evil boss side. Or you can play it competitively as the other way I like to play it, which has kind of this real-time aspect to it because you're gonna be what I didn't say is you're gonna be trying to make patterns. And when you make a pattern with your discs, that's why you're moving them around. Once you make a pattern, like Tetris, they're gonna break off, and in the solo game, they're gonna go and all those discs that broke off are going to go and attack the boss monster. In a competitive game, you're going to pass those discs, and they're going to have your competitor, you're going to pass them to your left, and your competitor has to throw them in their bag to make it harder for them to complete their patterns, because as those discs fill up in your board, if you don't break them apart, they're going to start filling up just like in Tetris, and if they get down to the bottom, you take a hit, and after a certain amount of hits, you're going to lose the game or be out of the game if you're playing multiplayer. And it's just a really, really cool Tetris pattern building game. It's so much fun. It's amazing solo. It's an amazing solo game, and it's really fun competitively as well. So that is why I like it. Again, it's a short game, 15 to 30 minutes to play. It's just rapid fire moving around doing these things and see if you win or not. And it's got a lot of tension because you're always kind of, as the game progresses, you're like just flirting on disaster of taking hits. So a lot of tension builds up over the game. I really enjoy this. That is Bullet Heart. And it's got a 7.6 rating out of 4.5 thousand ratings. Came out in 2021. It has an overall ranking on BGG of 678th. And for me, it is number 83. Number 82 for me is new to my list because I just played it for the first time this year. And I actually played this game first online for free, and then I got the print and play, which I also believe is free with a donation if you want to give a donation for it, but I believe it's available for free, and that is Gem Getter Pro. I'm not going to show you because I don't have a box because I made my own print and play of it. So what you do in this game, it's a roll and write, and I'll show you what the board looks like here. So you'll play on one half of these. So there's multiple different boards. So there's all these different, they're called dig sheets. So this is E, F, and then I have G and H on the back side. And so what you're doing is you're gonna roll 2 dice. And the 2 dice are going to match up one on the green side and one on the white side. So if I get rolled a 1 on the green side, I have this option of a shape to draw in, this polyomino shape that I can draw in on my map. Or if I rolled, like, let's say a 3, I have either I get 2 straight blocks of 2, or I can do this T shape block. I get a choice here. So if I rolled a 1 and a 3, I'd get this shape or one of these shapes that I get to fill in on my dig sheet. And what you're trying to do on your dig sheet is cover up all the different type of gems. These ones in the white area, you want to surround those ones by filling all the gray spaces surrounding those ones, and you'll get the gem inside of there. And then if you fill up any rows, you're going to get a bonus on gem on the side. And then if you fill up any vertical spots, you're going to get the bonus gem on the bottom. Every time you get a gem, you're going to mark off the gem on the side of your scoring sheet here. And every type of gem scores differently. So they're all going to give different ways to score. You're going to play 9 rounds of the game, just rolling the dice 9 times, filling in a spot on your sheet, and then totaling up your score. I've played this again with my family, and I've played this solo, and it is so ridiculously addictive. It's a super lightweight roll and write. You can just, it's 9 rolls of dice and you're done. And you can just kind of whip through this game super fast and then just play it again, play it with, there's different roll sheets. So here's like the side A roll sheet and here's the side B roll sheet. And there's, as I said, there's like 10 different or so different dig sheets that you can use. And you can just, as soon as you're done, I don't think I've ever sat down and played this game just one time. I always want to play it again and see if I can do a little better. It has that addictive quality like any of those old phone games like Snood or Candy Crush or anything like that, where you just keep wanting to play the game over and over and over again. There's not much more to say about it. The scores at the end of the game when I played it with my family were really close. So again, it was a close game, which keeps its tension that way. Otherwise, you're just trying to beat your own scores. And it's really a really good, simple roll and write game. And let's learn a little bit more about this game. It's designed by Daniel Young. He self-published it by himself. It has an 8.3 rating out of 118 ratings. And it came out in 2023. Overall, it's ranked 8,775, which is pretty dang good for a self-published print and play game. I laminated my sheets so I can use dry erase markers. You don't need to. Just print it off. You can even do it in black and white because all the different gems, they all have different colors, but they also all have different shapes. So you could, if you want to save on ink, just do it in black and white. You can print it off and just, you'll have a couple per sheet. Really easy to do. Highly recommend it. It might even be free. If not, it's like $5 or a donation. So highly recommend this game. It is so addictive. Just get it, play it, or go online and play it for free because you'll just keep playing it over and over and over again. That is why it is my number 82. And last up for this list, this might be my only game that's not a hidden gem on this list. Bullet Heart kind of flirts with it, being a hidden gem or not. This game is very popular, and I went all in on it, got the deluxe version, and that is River Valley Glassworks. So, do I regret getting the all-in deluxe version of the game? Maybe a little bit, if I didn't say this is my number 81. So a little bit because I wanted those glass pieces. I love glass art, as you can tell from my little pieces here even. And I have a ton of glass art upstairs. But I love glass art, so I wanted the actual glass pieces for the game. It added quite a bit of extra money for a very, very light, simple game. So what you're doing in this game is you're going in a river and trying to collect river glass. And the way it works is there's different tiles, these little acrylic tiles, and they all have different glass stones on them of different colors and shapes. And you're gonna have some glass stones in your pan. And if I take, like, let's say I grab out of my pan an oval shape one, I have to put it on the oval acrylic tile. But I'm not gonna take the stones on that tile. I get to take the stones on either the tile before it or after it. So adjacent to the tile that I put the stone on. And so let's say I took it on the one over here. I take all those stones. Let's say there was like 4 different stones in them. Let's say there was 2 blue ones, and then there was 1 white one, and then 1 green one and 1 purple one. I'm gonna put those out on my player board in different columns. And the 2 blue ones will have to be in the same column. The other 3 ones will all be in their own separate column because they go by color type. Is how you're building up the columns. You want to fill out rows all the way to the end because that's going to get you points by the end of the game, and also columns. The higher you go up is going to get you more points. But here's the catch. The further you go to your right on your player board, the column will score more if you get higher up on it. But the other catch is you're only going to score your top 2 columns. You're going to score every row, but you're only going to score your top 2 columns, your tallest 2 columns. So, and if they're tied, here's the next catch of the game. If they're tied, let's say I have 4 columns that are, they're all tied. I'm only going to score in height. They're all tied in height. I'm only going to score the 2 furthest to the left that give me the least amount of points. I'm not going to score the 2 on the right that score me the most points. So you always go to, is unfriendly and scores you the least amount of points on ties. So you want to build those columns up far on the right, higher, to be higher if possible. It's easier though to score the ones there on your left side higher most of the time. So it's got that kind of push and pull that way of trying to build up those columns to your right. I highly recommend getting the little expansion that came with the game. It's a little box of cards that have all different ways. They're like little modulars, different ways to have different scoring in the game. So one, like you'll play the module where you take a card and I want heart shapes that will score me extra, and my opponent might want oval shapes, which will score them extra. And then there's an expansion in that where maybe I want purples and they want, or I don't want any purples and maybe they don't want any greens. So there's all different types of modules. There's other ones with like player powers in them. And I would always take 2 or 3 of those and add them to the game because the base game is so simple. Unless you're playing with young kids or people that don't play games, then just play it base and it's still a great game. But I do think that the modules add to it. It's a really accessible game. Again, it's a really quick game. It doesn't last long at all. This is a game that anyone could play it, the base game of it at least. And I think even if you add in some of those simple modules, anyone could play those as well. That is River Valley Glassworks. It was 50th last year. It dropped to 81st this year. On BGG, it has a 7.3 rating out of 4.5 thousand ratings, and it's ranked 970th overall on BGG. It's designed by Adam Hill, Ben Pinchback, and Matt Riddle, and published by Allplay. So that's my next 10 games. That went pretty long today. I might cut some of that down because that went long. I kind of rambled on and on and on, but I'm excited to go to the next 10. The next 10 will be numbers 80 through 71. And yeah, man, it's more diverse games, a couple heavier games in here than this list was pretty light. But we're gonna get a few heavier games next time, but also some light ones in there too. And that is it. Peace and stay cool. See you next time.